Hey guys, welcome to Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God. This is our last video in the USDA Thrifty Food Challenge, which we went to the store and used what the USDA would say would feed a family of 4 for a whole week. It was $194.50. We spent $194.69. That's just how it ended up. We went to Walmart and we bought an entire grocery haul, and I used only that stuff for the week. So if you go back to the first video in this series, you can see that grocery haul and see the plan. But I'm going to go through and show you what is left from that food challenge. We fed 9 eaters. This little guy makes number 10 for our family, and I'm a very hungry nursing mom, so my meals were larger than they have been in the past. If you've been a nursing mom before, you understand what I'm saying. You know if you know. So anyway, we fed everybody, and this was what was left. Again, I bought everything, salt, pepper, spices, everything was bought and used in this challenge, and this is what ended up at the end of the week. So I'll tell you what things we still had enough of that you would not have to purchase next time. And then I will tell you how much money you have to spend extra if you buy this grocery challenge again, because of what's left extra. And I'll tell you some extra food choices you could have made, other things you could have made with that groceries that I bought. You ready? Okay, so over here, what we have left, we have some sour cream. We have enough rice to last you into next week. You would not need to buy that again. We have a little bit of the syrup we made for our pancakes and French toast. Out of the 3 pounds of butter, we have 2 sticks plus half a stick left. These are leftovers we had already cooked. We have beans. Those are like taco beans. We have rice. And these are just beans that have been made up. You could put them in soups or anything. They haven't been seasoned. Some of these things you would need to buy the item again next week, but it would overflow into the following week if you continued to do this same grocery plan. So like the beans, you would have to buy more, but that's still a couple meals worth of beans that you have left for another time. This is oat flour. If you saw the recipe for the granolas, we had taken some of the oats and put them in the food processor and made them into oat flour. We have some salsa left. You would not need to purchase yeast for the next week. You would not need to purchase garlic for the next week, a garlic clove. We do, I don't think it got put on the table, but we do have a little bit of garlic, like the roasted garlic we did the one night. We still have a little bit of that left in the fridge too. We just didn't go put it on the table. So you would not need to buy garlic. You would not need to buy more yeast. The salt thing is almost full. You wouldn't need to buy more of that. Coffee, I'll show you. We still have coffee left. There's a scoop in there, but there's that much coffee left. And we had, oh no, I think we finished it this morning. We had some iced coffee left too. I'm gonna stand up, sorry. I think we still have some iced coffee. So I think we had 2 cups left of iced coffee, which if you wanna see how we make iced coffee or cold brew coffee, we have another video for that. So, cinnamon, baking powder, this salt and pepper, you would not need to buy more of.
That's chili powder.
Oh, sorry, chili powder. Sorry, we didn't buy cinnamon, chili powder. You would not need to buy more of any of those ingredients. Italian dressing, garlic, like the minced garlic, and mayonnaise, you would not need to buy more of. And this is the ranch dressing we made for the salads. Still, that you wouldn't have to buy another ranch packet for the next week. This is what's left of the flour. Is just about 2 cups worth of flour left in that bag. And this is all that's left of the brown sugar. You'd have to buy more of those. But granulated sugar would last you for weeks on this challenge. It's always good to have sugar in the house though, because it goes in so many things, even if you're only using a teaspoon at a time. And it's a good motivator when you're doing a frugal challenge like this. It's always a good motivator to have something in the house that you can make a sweet. Even if you don't make sweets regularly, it's still nice to be able to have something so you don't feel like you're being deprived. We have some oatmeal left. It's to about here. You would not need to buy more cornmeal. You still have enough of that for the challenge. We have a couple egg whites left from when we made hard-boiled eggs. You would not need to buy more olive oil, and the peanut butter is almost gone. So that's what was left on our challenge. But you can see, you could still make I could still make a few meals worth of food here probably. At least rice and beans could be made for 2 meals. So we're not totally out of food. I did make a grocery haul yesterday, so we do have food in the house now. We had food in the house anyway, but that was what we would do. So if you did this food challenge, like I said, to feed 4 people, that first week's grocery haul could feed 4 people for 2 weeks on the meals that I made. Plus, if you went back to buy 2 more weeks worth of food, you would have money to spend on other things. So let me explain what that is, and also explain to you the different meals you could have made, because we picked some of our favorite meals, but there's a lot of meals you could have made with these food choices. So in the food challenge, with all the food that is left over on this table, if you were to buy the exact same grocery list that I bought the first week, there are $27.71 worth of items that you would not need to buy again. Those are the things that have more than half on this table. So the things like the sugar that's still left over. So with that $27.71, some of the suggestions we came up with to buy to vary your meals a little bit would be jelly, cream cheese, ketchup, cinnamon, Italian seasoning, other spices you might think of. We would have bought more cheese, more eggs, and more flour. But you can do a lot with that $27.71. So these meals that we made would feed a family of 4 for 2 weeks with the first set of meals that we ate, because there's 10 of us, when you count this little guy too, 9 actually eating at the table. So that first meal plan that I made, the first grocery list, would have fed a family of 4 for 2 weeks, and then you'd go back to the store for another 2 weeks and have this extra $27.71 of stuff you would not have to purchase. Out of that first list of groceries that we bought, we decided to eat certain foods, but you guys might not like those same certain foods. So we came up with a list of other foods you could make with the ingredients we bought in that first week, just combining them in different ways. Using the mayonnaise that you bought, you could have made chicken salad or egg salad. You could have made chicken gravy with vegetables that you ate on mashed potatoes or on rice. You could make chicken and biscuits or chicken and dumplings. We call it chicken and biscuits because we use a biscuit recipe. You can do it with a dumpling recipe too. And that would just be like a thick chicken soup with biscuits cooked on the top. You could make homemade tortillas. Like the flatbreads we made, there's a different recipe for homemade tortillas that are thinner, that roll up better. We just happen to like the flatbreads. But you could have made homemade tortillas with the taco stuff. You also could have made what we call chicken wraps. So chicken, rice, lettuce, and ranch dressing on a tortilla, on a homemade tortilla. That's one of our kids' favorite meals, and I totally forgot about that till we were talking through this list last night. You could make baked oatmeal, or it's sometimes called Amish oatmeal. It's a recipe you can make the night before. You stick it in the fridge, and then in the morning you bake it, and it comes out kind of a cross between oatmeal and an oatmeal cookie, and we eat it with, our family likes to eat it with milk or applesauce or yogurt on top. You could have baked the chicken thighs and done something in that way. You could have even put them in the Italian dressing and had them as, use that as a marinade. You also could have, what was the other thing? Oh, you could have used the ranch packet and the taco packet and put those together with the chicken thighs in a crock pot and had ranch taco chicken. One recipe we thought of making this week, but we just ran out of time, was cornmeal pancakes. So make the recipe you would make for cornbread, but then cook them up like pancakes and put maple syrup on top or powdered sugar. We did not have powdered sugar in this grocery haul, but all powdered sugar is granulated sugar that's made more refined. So if you have like a high-speed blender like a Vitamix, or maybe even a food processor would work. I'm not sure, I've never done it in a food processor. But you put granulated sugar in and beat it up and it becomes powdered sugar. The only difference is when they're storing it for long term, like you would buy it at the store, there's also cornstarch mixed in just to keep it drier and not clumpy. More things. You could make rolls, biscuits. We make something called, what's it called? I don't know. We make it on the stove. Oh, I totally forgot the name right now, but if I think of it, I'll make it for you sometime. No, the bread we make in the pan. Skillet bread.
Skillet bread.
Skillet bread is something we make, and it's kind of like a dense bread that you make on the stove. There's a whole bunch of things you could have done with the flour, yeast, baking powder to make different kinds of breads. So that could have made variation to your week. With the celery and peanut butter and chocolate chips, you could have made ants on a log with chocolate chips instead of raisins. You could make waffles. With the apples we bought, you could have made applesauce or apple butter. Applesauce, you just put the apples in a crock pot or in a pan and cook them down with water. And then after you get applesauce, if you continue cooking it down, you get apple butter. That's all apple butter is, it's just cooked down applesauce. We had those chocolate chips, you could have melted them and you could have made chocolate covered bananas or chocolate covered strawberries. A snack that Mark likes, we didn't have cinnamon, but you can do it without cinnamon. Or if you bought cinnamon the next thing. Mark likes for dessert rice with milk and sugar on top and cinnamon if we had it. Or raisins if you have them. It was, my mom used to eat this as like when we'd have rice, the leftovers would be made into this dessert. You don't have to cook it or anything, you just pour the milk on top and eat it. I'm seeing what else I haven't told you yet. Oh, my kids like rice with toppings, they call it. So rice with butter or cheese or salsa, any of the extra ingredients you had, my kids would have made a meal out of just rice with the toppings on it. The homemade noodles that I made the last day of the challenge, you could have put those in chicken noodle soup, cooked them right there in the broth, and spread your soup more by making the chicken noodle soup. We thought of making that too, but we never did. And then you also had potatoes. So you could have made baked potatoes with cheese or sour cream on top that you had, or you could have put the chili or any of the taco seasonings on top of the baked potatoes. So we just wanted to give you guys an idea, even with that limited grocery haul that I made, just those limited ingredients, those are all the different kinds of meals, plus everything that I made, that you could have made in this challenge. So sometimes it's hard to think outside the box. You think, oh, I have hamburgers and this is how this is what we do with hamburgers. But there's lots of different options of things to do. So I guess this is just a challenge to look at the foods you have and see how you can change it up to make it more interesting for your family. So thank you for joining us for this challenge. Thank you for joining us on Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God. If you liked this video and think it's an encouragement, there's other videos in the series and you can share them with somebody. So you ready to go? Let's go. Say bye.